Hello everyone. What made the Indian IT stocks to rally yesterday? Why is the new telecom subscription report negative for Reliance Jio? What happened last night in US market and what is the participant-wise stance in the option market for today's weekly expiry? All that we are going to discuss it today in the market report video for 7th October 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. So the biggest worry the Indian stock market has right now is Trump's decision to impose $1 lakh fee for the H1B visa and its impact, particularly on the IT stocks. And for that, yesterday, CRISIL Rating released a detailed report. Here, this is what the report said. Between 2017 and 2025, the number of Indian employees on H1B visas working for TCS, Infosys, Wipro and HCL Tech almost halved from 34,500 to around 18,000. That's a negative compounding of around 9%. And during those years, the visa fees were between $2,000 to $5,000, which on the total employee cost, it was only 0.02 to 0.05%. Now, considering the new $1 lakh fees, it could potentially increase the visa cost up to only 1% on the total employee cost, which IT companies can easily pass on to client. So the $1 lakh visa fee is not really a big concern, and even if they employ local people, then that's also fine. In the last financial year, Indian IT companies had an operating margin of approximately 22%. Considering all these impacts like employing local people or paying the higher visa fee, the report said it could impact only 10 to 20 basis points on the operating margin. I mean, in a 22% margin, 10 to 20 basis point is almost nothing. It should easily fall within the usual quarter-to-quarter variation. So in short, the report says Indian IT companies will have an impact but very minimal. Hence, that's one of the main reasons why IT companies rallied around 2% yesterday. All 10 of the Nifty IT stocks were increased significantly. Along with this above reason, of course, profit booking also played its part since both TCS and Tata Elxsi quarterly results are due on coming Thursday. Other than this, in the last market report video, we discussed about the business updates of Kotak Mahindra Bank, Bajaj Finserv and HDFC Bank, which they released during the weekend. All those companies' share went up yesterday. Bajaj Finance and Kotak Mahindra Bank jumped 2% and HDFC Bank was up near 1%. On the negative side, Lupin shares fell about 2% as the US FDA classified their Pithampur manufacturing facility as required regulation action. Second, Vodafone Idea shares fell 4.5% since again Supreme Court once again deferred the yesterday's hearing to October 13th regarding their AGR dues miscalculation plea as the Indian government asked for more time. Then regarding Avenue Supermarket, as we discussed in the last video, though their standalone revenue increased by over 15%, most of that came from the increase in the number of stores, not the actual consumption growth. Citing that Goldman Sachs cut their future earnings estimates by 2% and maintained a sell rating. As a result, the stock fell about 2.5%. So those were the things I like to highlight from the yesterday's Indian market. Then coming to US market, the government shutdown is still continuing and no official data has been released since October 1st. I don't know, somehow US market is believing this is positive for rate cut and the Fed monitoring tool interest rate cut projection for the coming October 29th FOMC meeting is increased from 93% to 97%. So generally, US market was positive. In addition, semiconductor manufacturer AMD signed a multi-year contract with OpenAI for supplying the AI chip. So AMD share price increased 24% in one single session. Because of that, S&P 500 and Nasdaq both scaled new all-time highs, while the Dow Jones closed slightly negative. Dow Jones decreased by 0.14%, S&P 500 increased by 0.36% and Nasdaq outperformed 0.71%. In case of VIX, it's roughly at the same level as the previous session, around 16.5. Then moving to oil price, same reason as yesterday. Over the weekend, OPEC plus countries increased the September oil production target by 1,37,000 barrels per day, but the market was expecting an increase of around 5 lakhs barrels per day. So the actual increase was lower than expected, and that pushed the oil prices up another 1.5%. At the time of this video, WTI crude trading near $62 per barrel and Brent crude near $65.5 per barrel. Coming to gold, because of the US government shutdown and political gridlock, which we discussed in detail in the week ahead video, the dollar's trustworthiness has weakened. Hence, as a result, gold price crossed above $3,900 per ounce from around $3,860 per ounce last week. During intraday, it even reached a high of $3,944 per ounce, but after that, it softened a bit to $3,932 per ounce. Now, moving to Indian ADR, ICICI Bank alone closed slightly negative, while all others closed positive, roughly same percentage as yesterday's Indian market. Over the weekend in the offline market, HDFC Bank was indicating around 2.5% positive, but in Indian market, it increased only by 1%, and so in US market also, last night it increased by just 1%. So if we consider the usual 6% dollar premium, then the arbitrage is showing negative difference of 1%. But by chance, now the dollar premium dropped to 5% means then the arbitrage indicating the neutral difference. Anyway, because of the earnings uncertainty on the other stock also, there is no fresh movement indication. In line with that, early morning GIFT Nifty dropped very mild like 20 points and was trading at 25,153, equating that with the spot market. For now, it's indicating the flat opening. Now, moving to new India related updates. Yesterday in the aftermarket hours, Indian government's telecom authority TRAI released the August month subscription report. If anyone fancy reading about it, please have a go. I will attach the link in the pinned comment. In short, it had two sets of information, one wireless subscription and other wired subscription. First, on the wireless subscription, if required, please pause and have a look. In August month, Reliance Jio added around 20 lakh new subscribers. Then, very surprised to me, the next one was BSNL, which added about 14 lakh new subscribers, while Airtel added only around 5 lakh new subscribers. On the other hand, Vodafone Idea lost about 3 lakh new subscribers. So, in the wireless segment, it's positive for Jio. But in the wired segment, out of total 4.6 crore subscribers, 16 lakh subscribers closed their subscription, and almost all of them, about 15.5 lakh subscribers that closed their accounts were from Reliance Jio. So, wireless positive, but wired numbers are quite negative. Either way, potentially today Indian market might react to this telecom report. Hence, we could expect Vodafone Idea, Reliance and Airtel will be on focus. Then, second stock to watch. Yesterday, UBS downgraded Nykaa stock from buy to neutral, citing high marketing spending as the main reason. So, Nykaa stock will also likely be on focus. As a summary, US market closed mixed, and in line with that, Indian ADR and GIFT Nifty are both indicating a flat opening. Just for info, today is the first weekly expiry of October, so we can expect expiry related influence in the market. Then about institution, yesterday too FI was net sellers, but they reduced their selling intensity. They net sold only for 300 crore rupees. On the other hand, DI net bought for massive 5,000 crore rupees. In case of participant-wise open interest, in the index options, yesterday hardly any call options were added. On the other hand, 13% new put option open interest was added. Hence, the PCR ratio increased to 1.31 from 1.17 at the end of Friday session. Then, stance-wise, clients are roughly maintaining their positive stance with net 6% open interest favoring bullish position. But FII slightly reduced their bearishness. Session ago, they were holding near net negative 8%, that now reduced to net negative 6.8%. So still they are favoring bearishness but reduced it mildly. In case of proprietary traders, they are holding net 1.4% in bullish position. Then on the index future, no major change. If required, please pause and have a look. Moving on, as per stock open interest, IREDA, Torrent Power, SAIL, Trend, Voltas, PFC and ITC are some of the 55 stocks that got an increase in open interest along with a negative close indicating the short build-up. On the other hand, Power India, SBI Card, Delivery, IOC, Page Industries and ABB are some of the 76 stocks that got an increase in open interest with a positive price close, which means these stocks got the long build-up. Then about the things to look out, there is nothing that I'm aware of is scheduled that could influence our market. However, in the night, US trade data, September month consumer inflation expectation and Atlanta Fed GDP growth rate projection are the important items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, Nifty opened 20 points gap up and as the day progressed, it kept on increasing and closed above the psychological 25,000 mark. Thus, on the daily chart, Nifty formed a long bullish candle with higher high, higher low formation for the third consecutive session. In addition, it surpassed the 10, 20 and 50-day exponential moving average as well as the middle of the Bollinger Band. Furthermore, RSI increased above 50 mark and showed a bullish crossover, while MACD also showed some improvement, both indicating strengthening momentum. Hence, if Nifty managed to defend the 25,000 mark, which is the immediate support, then the next level to watch in the short term are 25,100 and 25,250. However, on the lower side, 24,900 expected to be the crucial support. In case of Bank Nifty, it opened more than 200 points gap up and was positive throughout the session, then closed above 56,100 and outperformed Nifty for another session. Thus, on the daily chart, Bank Nifty formed a bullish candle, had the falling resistance trendline breakout and hit the upper Bollinger Band, all indicating the positive trend to continue. In addition, the 10-day exponential moving average crossed above the 20, 100 and 50-day exponential moving average, with RSI reaching near 63 mark with a strong bullish crossover and MACD also maintaining the positive crossover. Hence, going forward, the immediate upside target is at 56,600 followed by 57,000 in the short term. On the downside, the support zone is at 55,700 to 55,600 level. Regarding the options front, the maximum call option openers was at 25,100 strike, followed by 25,200 and 25,500 with maximum new call option writing at 25,200, 25,100 and 25,300 strike. Meanwhile, on the put side, the maximum open test was at 25,000 strike, followed by 24,900 and 24,500 with maximum new put option writing at 25,000, 25,050 and 24,950 strike. Thus, from options data, it's indicated that Nifty might face a resistance at 25,200 to 25,500 range with support at 24,900. So that's all in this video. Hope you got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment based on this as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I am doing this for me and viewers educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.